Mangaroos Tutoring Services Mathematics Classes. Types of lines. We are simply going to discuss 5 basic types of lines. Firstly, we have a horizontal line which goes across, left to right or right to left. Next, we have a vertical line which goes up to down or down to up. Next, we have intersecting lines. These are lines which go across each other. And there is a point of intersection, which is a red dot in this case. Next, we have perpendicular lines which meet at 90 degrees. Another word for 90 degrees is right angle. And the lines may go beyond the point of intersection. Next, we have parallel lines. These are lines which do not meet and go in the same direction. Angles. This is a simplified definition. An angle is a measure of the amount of turn or rotation between two lines which meet at a common vertex. I will now illustrate angles using this 2D animation tool. Let us focus on the inner circle which has the numbers 0 to 360. Angles are measured in degrees. In a circle, the amount of degrees is 360. So you can simply follow along, and afterwards I will give you written notes. So in going around the circle, we start from 0, we go to 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, all the way to 360 degrees. So remember, an angle is the amount of turn or rotation between two lines which meet at a common vertex. So we will go through different types of angles within a circle. So the smallest angle is called an acute angle. This goes from 0 degrees, or rather 1, all the way to 89 degrees. So we have 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 75 degrees, and again we end at 89 degrees. At exactly 90 degrees, we call that a 90 degree or right angle. Next, we have more than 90 degrees. So from 91 degrees all the way to 179 degrees, we call that an obtuse angle. At exactly 180 degrees, we call this a straight line angle or 180 degrees angle. Next, we have from 181 degrees all the way to 359 degrees, we call this a reflex angle. And lastly, at exactly 360 degrees, we call this a full circle. That is not one of the typical angles, but that is a complete circle. We can have more than 360 degrees, but we will stop there for now. So again, we're going to revisit the different types of angles that was mentioned before. So we have an acute angle, and this is less than 90 degrees. We have 3 examples here. So it's important to know which side to draw your angles or your arc at. So here we are seeing that the arc is drawn on this side. We can't draw the arc on this side. So it's important to draw the arc on the correct side of the lines. So at this point, you can pause the video and take down the notes for acute angles if you haven't already done so. There are 3 examples. You can draw those and you can draw your own example if you understand what an acute angle is. Then we have the second biggest angle is called a right angle, and we can see that this is a perfect corner which is denoted by a small square. So this is a right angle or 90 degrees angle. You can now pause the video and write down the definition and examples for right angle. You can also add your own example. Then we have an obtuse angle, which is more than this angle, but it is less than this angle. So again, it's more than this 90 degrees angle, but less than the straight line angle here. So just to be clear, an obtuse angle starts at 91 degrees and ends at 179 degrees. So at this point, you can pause the video and take down the definition and examples for obtuse angle. You can also feel free to add your own example. So number 4, we have a straight line or 180 degrees angle, which is fairly simple. It's exactly 180 degrees. And it's very important that we put this point in here to show the pivot or where the 2 lines meet. You can now pause the video and take down the definition and examples for straight line angles. And lastly, we have a reflex angle, which is more than the straight line. So it's more than this, but it's less than a complete circle. So it's less than this complete circle here. So starting at 181 degrees and ending at 359 degrees. That was the last angle. You can now take down the definition and the examples. You can feel free to add your own example. We will now do some examples. Name the angles. Part A. A, as we can see, is less than 90 degrees. So this is called an acute angle. B, it's more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So this is an obtuse angle. C, C is exactly 90 degrees. This is called a right angle. D, D is more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. So it's called a reflex angle. And lastly, E. E is a straight line angle. Now we can move on to an exercise. So again, remember, you can attempt any or all of the questions before looking at the solution. So you can feel free to pause the video and draw all of these questions in your book and attempt them. Okay, let us begin. Name each angle. Part A. We can see that this angle is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So this is right. This is an obtuse angle. Next, we can see this angle here is more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. So we call this a reflex angle. Next we have an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. We call this a right angle. Part D. As we can see, this is a straight line angle. Part E. This is a right angle. Part F. This angle is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. This is an obtuse angle. G. This angle is less than 90 degrees, so it's called an acute angle. Next we have this angle for H, which is more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. This is called a reflex angle. Next we have a straight line angle. J. We have an angle that is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. We call this an obtuse angle. K. This is a 90-degree angle, so it's called a right angle. And I, this is a small angle, it's called an acute angle. So that brings us to the end of the exercise. Thank you for watching. If you have found this video to be helpful, please feel free to contact us for more information about our classes.